Here on Smokin, we go through literally hundreds of old, untested phones per year. Usually on the lookout for interesting, disturbing, or just plain weird content that people leave on their devices that they for some reason don't factory reset. But let me fill you guys in on a little secret. That phone you're using right now, its data is just as open to companies like Google, Apple, and Meta as this guy's embarrassing photos right here. From your phone searching for Wi-Fi being used to track everywhere you go, to your TV sending out ultrasonic frequencies to talk with your phone. Yes, that's real. What? These companies use your data to know more about you than you know about yourself. But don't you worry, I have the perfect solution to ditch Google's tyranny, and that would be my brand new Google Pixel 9 Pro.
What did he say?
I can explain. Let me walk you through the situation here. To oversimplify this story a little bit, I'm basically just tired of these companies pulling this crap. Like, here's an example. Google Plus vulnerability exposed 500,000 users' data, and Google Plus has been shut down for a little while. So, all it takes is another Google service that shuts down. They stop, caring for it as much, and there you go, 500,000 email addresses, usernames, occupations, dates of birth, profile photos, and other things. They're all just exposed. Cool. Here's my real issue with this. It's that they're actively using your info to track everything about you. This is literally on Google's privacy in terms website. I recommend reading this whole thing because it's terrifying. But here's one of the worst parts. Permission to use your content. What do they define your content as? Things that you create, upload, submit, store, send, receive, or share using our services. Oh, just literally every bit of information you've ever gotten on your Google phone. More importantly, okay, they have access to this information. What are they doing with it? This license allows Google to host, reproduce, distribute, communicate, and use your content. For example, to save your content on our systems and make it accessible from anywhere you go. And here's the thing I hate about Google. They frame it as a good thing. They frame it as they're doing you a service by stealing all your information. What in the world? Publish, publicly perform, or publicly display your content. I love a giant mega bajillion dollar corporation having access to all of my information and just using it willy-nilly. It's great. And now they claim that the purpose of all this is just to operate and improve their services. I'm sure it is. Here we go. Third bullet point down here says to customize our services for you, such as providing recommendations and personalized search results, content, and ads. This analysis occurs as the content is sent, received, or when it is stored. They're saying you take a photo on your phone, it's saved to your device. They got it in the TOS. It's open for them to use. Don't you dare take a picture of these bounty wipes here. I know you want them, but you're gonna get ads for it. Now, you guys may have noticed that my voice all of a sudden became way clearer during that last clip, and that's because I swapped over to the amazing Lark A1 microphone from Hollyland, who is the sponsor of today's video. Now, usually when I record videos, I use this wired lav mic here that kind of sucks. But man, this is why I'm so glad that Hollyland, a brand that over 20 million professionals trust to do their jobs every day, sent us over a pair of Lark A1s to try out. All you gotta do is connect this little USB-C device right here that's connected to my phone right now. They also have a version that has a lightning cable adapter in case you still have an iPhone with one. From there, just connect the mic to your shirt with magnets. Once you're done with that simple setup, you're ready to start recording studio quality audio for YouTube, which is what we're doing here. Now I'm personally using the Lark A1 combo that comes with 2 mics like I was talking about, 2 receivers, the one I'm using to record this video at this very moment, and a lightning one. And I love that it all sits inside this carrying case you can easily take with you, just like a pair of wireless earbuds. And all of this, guys, is just 59 bucks. Crazy. And what's even better is they also sell a version of the Lark A1 here that comes with only a USB-C receiver. That bad boy is all the way down to $39.90. Whew. I know what you're thinking. You don't want the charging case. That's totally fine. They have one of those too. It charges on a little stand. And that one is only $29.90. Whoo, boy, that's cheap. As for the mic specs, you're looking at 54 hours of battery life using this case here, up to 650 feet of range, 3-level noise cancellation, and full 24-bit 48 kilohertz professional level audio. So if you're also ready to ditch that old crappy mic or upgrade from your integrated phone audio, to be honest, head over to store.hollyland.com to treat yourself to professional level audio recording with the Lark A1. And here's a fun one that's also a little old. This is way back in 2016. It's on Wired. How to block the ultrasonic signals you didn't know were tracking you. The what? In regards to the title of the article, they write here, the technology called ultrasonic cross-device tracking embeds high-frequency tones that are inaudible to humans in advertisements, web pages, and even physical locations like retail stores. You're telling Macy's is sending ultrasonic frequencies to my cell phone? And guys, those are just some examples. I could sit here all day talking about all the crazy privacy violations that are happening to every device you've used, every service you've logged into. It's insane. But here's the thing. It's not all doom and gloom. There are a ton of ways to make a massive impact on what info you are giving to these companies. You don't have to do anything crazy. You just turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth when you're not using them, for example. It'll stop Macy's from knowing that your Wi-Fi on your phone was trying to connect to it, even if you didn't really want to connect to their public Wi-Fi. You can also get off of Google Chrome. That'd be, highly recommended. You could use literally any other browser. It's probably better. I don't know. But if there's one thing you can do that'll help you more than anything else, honestly, is figuring out what you're gonna do with your little phone here, because this is the real source of most of the privacy violations happening in your life right now. What I recommend personally is swapping over to a Google Pixel, but not just any Google Pixel. As I boot this phone up, you'll see what I mean. Looks like a normal Google phone so far. Oh, no it's not. We got Graphene OS on this bad boy. That's right, running a special ultra-private custom firmware on your Pixel is the best way to make sure that these spying eyes can't steal all your data. And you know what's crazy about this, fancy operating system? It just looks like a Pixel. This all just looks very standard, right? So I just log in here. I'm using a little bit of a different homepage, but for the most part, it's pretty Pixel-like, isn't it? But without getting into a bunch of technical nonsense, essentially Graphene OS just locks off apps from talking to each other as much, from reporting your data back to things, and you have very specific control over which apps are allowed to do what. For example here, let's look at Best Buy, right? This is like a shopping app. I don't really want to give this that much information, but look at that. I already have sensors info enabled for this app. Sensor info, by the way, is like your accelerometer and gyroscope, along with whatever other sensor your phone happens to have. Why does Best Buy want this information? I don't honestly know, but I don't think they should have it. That sounds ridiculous. So I just go in here and hit don't allow. So really the only permission I'm giving Best Buy right now is network access so I can, use the app to shop around. But let's say you have an application like a certain mobile game, or I don't know, maybe like a gambling app or something really predatory on your phone. You can go to users here and you can set up a new user account just for your predatory apps. This user account is essentially like using a new phone that you can swap between. It has no access to the other applications and no knowledge of what's going on in the other user profile. Think of it as like using a different user account on a Windows PC. So for example, I think this is a pretty common setup right here. You have like your main owner profile, a Google one for like all your Google apps, and then a work profile for, things I need while I'm working here. But just for the sake of an example, let me walk you through this. Let's add a user. We'll call it Smokin. There we go, it's creating the user. And at this point, you can change a bunch of settings. You can enable the ability for it to receive SMS and phone calls. If I'm installing an ultra predatory app, I don't think I really want to give it access to that information. It could just look over there and be like, hey, what's your phone number? Oh, interesting. I'm gonna write that down and send it off to my guys upstairs. You can also push through a bunch of apps that you have installed on your owner profile. So I could push through anything that I think is necessary and choose not to install apps that I don't think are necessary. But let's just say I don't want to install anything. Let's just go ahead and swap over to Smokin. We're gonna set it up. And here we go, look at this. It's just like setting up a brand new phone. In fact, you'll literally go through, you enable certain things, you set up a PIN, we'll make sure it's very secure. Perfect. You can set up fingerprint unlock, and maybe I don't want to do that. Skip restore apps, and you're all set. That's super basic. It takes 2 seconds to set up the phone. It's amazing. And look at this. This is my favorite part of setting up a new profile. Ready? You hit start. Look at the homepage. There's nothing here. There's no apps, no bloatware, no nothing. If I swipe up on the app drawer, look at this. You get 14 apps. That's it. But let's say I'm done using my profile to do something illegal or whatever I'm doing here. All I have to do, is swipe down here and there's a little button here and I can swap between my other users. Or I can just turn off the phone like that, go to the lock screen, I can just hit this little end session button. And there we go, that essentially shuts the phone down. How cool is that? And this is the best part. You can use this feature for security purposes, you can use it just for, there's times you just want 2 instances of an app. So what do I mean by this exactly? So this is my personal, everyday use homepage here. This is my personal profile I use all the time. I got this app here that lets me look at photos. Take a photo of a butterfly or whatever, and great, I have that on my phone, it's wonderful. But all the time here at the office, I have to take videos, little face recordings or little pictures of devices. And it gets really annoying because I'll have my personal photos and my work photos kind of all combobulated together. It's awful. But with this profile system, you can see here, I'm gonna swap over to the work profile. I'm not gonna show you my PIN. That would be a bad idea on the internet. And here we go, I got all the applications that I use for work, along with Google Play services. Because by the way, that's an important detail. You can use this phone without ever installing a single Google application. Android without Google. It's amazing. But as you might expect on this profile, this is essentially just a normal Google phone logged into my work email, and I can use it like my work phone. It's like having a personal phone and a work phone on one device. It's sick. And sure enough, when I open the Photos app, you can see I have some work photos here that are kept separate on their own little storage thing, and they have no way of communicating to each other. It's awesome. Here's another cool little random feature. So you can see I have fingerprint unlock here, but if I swipe up to enter my PIN, what is this? It randomizes all the numbers. This makes it so when you're out and about and you gotta, every once in a while enter your PIN in, Joe Schmo's looking over the shoulder like, oh, what's he putting in there? Or even like, if you're not paying attention, if you like put your PIN in or whatever, you can leave fingerprints that can kind of indicate the numbers you tend to hit most often. But if the numbers are randomized every time, like you see here, then both those methods are much less likely to work. And here's a really crazy one. I think this might be a little overkill, frankly, but it's so cool that this operating system has it. A duress password can be entered instead of the user password in any place that asks for it, blah, blah, blah. Submitting the duress password will immediately make the storage contents permanently inaccessible. Delete all eSIMs and then power off the device. So it wipes your phone when a certain code is entered. Recommendation, you might want to set that to like a commonly guessable passcode, like maybe your birth year or something that you're never going to actually use for your PIN, but someone trying to get into your phone, maybe they stole your phone or something, they might actually put that info in there. The point is, this is the operating system you want to use. If you're tired of Google, you want to truly have a real Android device. By the way, this thing has incredible battery life because nothing's running in the background unless you tell it to. And really, more than anything else, it reminds me of using an Android phone when I was like in high school and wanted to tinker with stuff. It's actually fun using my phone again. It's amazing. But I know what you're thinking. Oh, this has got to be complicated to set up. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Don't you dare say such a thing. Going over here to the Graphene OS website, I'll show you just how easy this is. It could not be simpler. They have a super simple install guide. You click up here on install. There's a web USB based installer. You just click on this. Follow the instructions. It's super detailed and very beginner friendly. And then the most important thing is you actually have a Google Pixel. This only works with Google Pixels, by the way. And it needs to be one of the officially supported ones, meaning, most importantly, a unlocked phone. This is an issue you saw me run into, by the way, if you saw this video right here. I originally had a Google Pixel 9 XL phone that it was locked to T-Mobile, and I couldn't, do the OEM unlocking step that you get into later. It was a bit of a shame. But that's okay. I bought a Pixel 9 Pro that was unlocked this time, and we were good to go. But what's great is you can buy a cheap one. You can get like an 8A or something that's super cheap to get, a great little phone. I love this too. They talk about security updates. It's a big talking point how Google mentions like, supporting their phones for a certain number of years. Graphene OS matches this also. So the 9 Pro, for example, I am good on system updates all the way through August 2031. You might just want to avoid like a Pixel 6. The end of life is coming up a little too fast in October 2026. Here's my favorite part. At this point, once you follow to like up to this point, you literally just like plug your phone into the computer and click unlocking the bootloader, this little button here, unlock bootloader, and it does all the work for you. There's no effort. It does everything for you, installs the entire operating system. However, despite my obvious enjoyment of the operating system, I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's not perfect. There are definitely flaws. Generally speaking, the bugginess level, I would say, is a little lower than a default Android experience. But there are some weird things. Here's one, for example. I'm not even sure if this is a bug. But let's say, I'm messing around with profiles here. I swap to another one. It shows the lock thing there for a second. If you're too quick with it, you can hit that and the fingerprint unlock won't work. I'll show it again real quick. I'm going to go over to work, hit the fingerprint unlock. Oh, it worked. Oh, God dang it. Oh, there we go. I did it. I hit the thing and it showed something else. Most of the time, I end up kind of missing the button and then it pops up this pin thing, making you think you got to put the pin in. But no, you can just go back and hit the fingerprint. It just ends up being a little bit convoluted. Notifications are also a little weird on Graphene OS. Here's one, for example. I love using the Signal app for messaging. It's a whole other thing. I don't want to get into that can of worms right now. But it's just got this notification here all the dang time, and it's pretty annoying. It pops up every time you sign into a profile or anytime you swap profiles. And where this really matters, so like I said, you swap profiles here. Signal is what I've been using for messaging. So when I open up like a new profile here, you can see there's other random notifications that I don't care about, like the Sandbox Google Play is running, whatever. I get a notification from Signal for owner. Normally, that's what happens when I get an actual text message, right? But no, if we swap back to owner, this is just the same notification we just cleared. But yeah, there you go. It just pops back up every time you sign in and out of this profile. It's just annoying. Or, here's a really annoying one. How about photos, right? I talked about how cool it was you can have the separate apps. What do you do when you make a mistake and you take a photo with the wrong account? I hope you have a Google Drive or an alternative set up, because there's no way to purposefully, on the user end, as far as I'm aware, transfer files on purpose between the two profiles. But out of the way, do I recommend installing Graphene OS on your own Google Pixel? Yes, please do it, please. Stop letting your smart fridge and your TV communicate you with the ultrasonic beams. Stop letting them do it. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see a video where I just hate on Apple and swap originally from iPhone to the Google Pixel, click this video right here. It was pretty fun.